All right, to all of you who are, shall we say, of an age to drink, you might be wondering, why does it look like this is a 10-year-old video? To all of you who are under the age of drinking, you might be wondering, why is the camera blurry? And the answer to both of you is, it's an old camera. So I've got a couple of problems and a couple of fun things that are going on right now. Which is problematic, but I guess I'll just say it to you and have it be done. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's going to pretty much depend on whether or not people come to sit near me right now. The first problem is my computer battery died. I don't know much about this topic, but I'll say what I do know. It seems that computer batteries have something called cycles in them, which is, all right, so a cycle is completely draining it, so from 100% to 0%. So if you only use 50% one day, 100% to 50% one day, and then you don't use your computer, you charge it back up, and it's just in your backpack or your suitcase or whatever for a week, and then you pull it out, you do it again 50%, and then you turn it off. That's one cycle, all the same, for all that, just as much as 0% or 50%. Just as much as draining it from 100% to 0% in 1 hour or 1 day or whatever would be. It's just how many times can you drain it from 100 to 0? And I seem to have reached that limit. Now, I knew that limit existed, but I remember reading that that's the point when the battery becomes ineffective. The point when the designer has decided that it's just not worth it to have that battery anymore. What I didn't know is when it hits that limit, it just straight up stops. It just doesn't work. It's not like, oh, this is the ineffective mode, like you have an hour of battery life. Nope, just straight up stops functioning. I've been using this laptop a lot. So one day I turn it on to discover it has no battery. I go to plug it in to charge it up and wait like an hour. I come back to it and realize, why is it still at 0%? I look and I realize, well, the battery's broken. Thankfully, I know how to take these things apart, so I pull the battery out. So now my laptop is a bit lighter, which is nice. But that's the downside, and it also means that I have to be pretty much at places where I can plug in. Thankfully, there are some parks in the town I live in which have places to charge your phones and stuff, like actual full three-pronged charging areas at them, and this is one of them. I'll probably be at this park a lot. There's only 4 spots in the entire park, or 2 really. There's like these patio things with places to charge your stuff. There is another park I know of which is actually closer and easier to get to, which allows you to charge, but as far as I'm aware, that one, the only place to charge is right next to a playground and is pretty much constantly being used. This one's next to a playground too, but it's like 100 yards away, so for now at least there's nobody here. I just recorded 2 videos with this exact same tree, not that you could really tell considering I used my normal camera, and I had to be kind of quiet because someone was there, but I get to be full, loud, boisterous myself for this video because they moved away. But who knows how long. I was here for 20 minutes before they moved here, just getting a bit of stock footage before I recorded. So I'm going to assume that I don't have a huge amount of time before someone else takes advantage of the empty patio next to me. So the next thing on the agenda, the blurry camera. I realized that, well, first things first, I found a $5 camera. There's a, I don't know how to describe it. There's a store. All right, back when I lived in the Midwest, there was a store there's a whole bunch of them called Axeman, which I really, really liked as a kid when I was living there because they had like, I mean, I couldn't understand half the stuff that was there, but I was a kid who liked tinkering, so it was heaven. So the thing is, they had a whole bunch of surplus stuff, like stuff that other stores have for a long time that just don't completely sell, like Ace Hardware and places like that. So this was similar to that, except it was for technology and clothes, as far as I could tell. Anyways, this city has one of those, but like I said, for technology and clothes. And one thing that I never saw in that store before, maybe it's new, maybe I just haven't been seeing it, is they had a whole box of these cameras. They were all identical and they were all $5, and I was like, except one which was $7, but it looked identical, so I figured no reason to try an extra $2. Anyways, so I got a $5 camera. I just picked one out of the box that looked not very dirty, but they all look kind of old, so I decided to try it. It didn't really occur to me that it could be this old, like 2002 kind of old, but whatever, it's fun. And since my views currently rest at, okay, not 0, there's been like 5 or 6 people wanting me to like follow them on Instagram or YouTube or something like that, and I've about half the time YouTube just automatically deletes the comments. The other half I actually let them post, just because I don't care if you want to advertise on my stuff. Nobody else is watching, so except apparently a couple advertisers, they can comment what they want. But anyways, so those are the only people who have been watching, and I'm pretty sure they haven't actually been watching. YouTube has some sort of statistics thing which tells you like how long have people been watching, and there's like a really sudden drop off at like 8 seconds or something. So, but anyways, since it's not exact, I can't really say nobody's watching this anymore, but it's effectively nobody's watching these. I can pretty much do as I please, so there might be a couple of videos interspersed, maybe a whole bunch at the beginning, because I really like this camera, with 240p. The interesting thing is it seems to record as a square, which is fun. It actually zooms out more than the other one. Unfortunately, I can't switch the cameras back and forth too much. Oh, sorry if I'm talking fast and ranting a bit more than normal. I forgot to write down a thing for this video, so it's a bit ranty. So, and then also, like I said, I don't know how much time I have. If you want, you can set it down to, YouTube has a feature where you can set it to 0.75 speed. At the speed I'm going, that might actually make it normal. But the thing is, like I said, since effectively nobody's watching this, I can do what I want. And what I want to do this time is record this. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is about my normal camera. For whatever reason, it zooms in a whole bunch. This one doesn't. It seems to zoom in, but not that much. What I mean by that is, like my other one, you couldn't see the top of the tree or the bottom. Pretty much what you could see is just the leaves and maybe like 2 feet of the trunk, where it kind of splits off there at the bottom. And of course, it would chop off the top, maybe the top. I don't know how big your screen is, but for me, it'd be about the top 2 inches of my screen would be cut off. And it's weird like that. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Of course, the video is higher quality, and it was the cheapest camera I could get, which is saying something. Once upon a time, cameras, you could go and get a $10 camera, but apparently now $27 is the best you can get at most places. I went to a Target, I went to a Walmart, I went to a Best Buy, and I ended up with a Best Buy $27 camera. Anyways, so, except I found this $5 camera, which is fun. So, nobody watches these, so I might as well record some videos on this 240p camera, because I like it, and because it actually record, because I keep finding these really great places to record. I set up my camera, and then it's like, oh yeah, it just cuts off the top. Like, it cuts off the top and bottom of this thing I want to record, and I just can't find any setting to change that. I have found a way to zoom out, but I have to like take apart the camera and use these really specific tools and have really steady hands. I'm not a surgeon. I'm a craft person. Like, I can build things, but I can't, like, I can't do stuff that require, like, oh, if you move it a millimeter this way, you screw yourself, but if you move it a millimeter this way, you also screw yourself. So you got to be really, really specific. I'm not good with that kind of stuff. I can't do that, but I can set up a light bulb for someone, not just twist it in, but like, anyways, I can build a birdhouse, but I can't do surgery. So I didn't want to do it. Also, it looked like even if you do zoom out, it seems to make it more blurry. They seem to have it automatically set to the best resolution possible, which is fine, whatever. But this camera should be able to actually pick up all the fun scenes. And for all that it's blurry, it also seems to make the scenes a bit, I don't know, it's a bit fun looking. It blurs out the features. Like, you can see there's houses in the background of this scene, like these cookie cutter condos they keep building in this area. But you can't really see it. It's just a vague outline with this camera, which is nice. but you can still see the movement of the wind in the trees, which is helpful. So, it's good enough to not suck and vague enough that I can pretty much film anything and be fine. So the thing is about this camera is that I like it. I don't know if you guys will hate it, and if by the time this video gets up there in like late October or whatever, if you guys absolutely hate it, comment to me, and in 3 months I'll completely stop using it, mostly, but I don't want to completely give in to you guys if I really like it, but because if this channel is entirely about the viewers and not the creator, then what's the point? Because, this channel's never going to make anybody any money. Maybe YouTube makes 5 cents on the ads, but, over like a period of 5 years. But, so this channel isn't making people money, so it might as well be for mutual enjoyment, not just viewer enjoyment. I think that's how you end up with clickbait channels. It's purely like, what does the audience respond to? Not what do I like making? So, yeah, this is a new camera. You'll see it every so often for the next 3 months, and possibly forever if you guys don't start commenting like, oh, that camera's awful, I hate it, you need to stop using it. But, yeah. I thought I'd explain this. There's still nobody here, so I guess I'll record some stock footage and think of ideas, because this is a golden opportunity, apparently, to record some stuff. Yeah. Oh, and you'll be seeing stock footage with this. I have a lot of stock footage saved up, like 50, no, I think it's like 80 gigabytes at this point. Anyways, I have a lot of stock footage, and it's like 40 hours or something. Because you don't think about it, but when you record like an hour and a half, and then you leave, and then you record an hour and a half a week later, and then you record an hour and a half, and then you record a half hour a week later, and then another hour and a half, or something like that. When you keep doing that repeatedly, you don't really think about it, but eventually you have like 40 videos, or you have like 25 videos or something like that, and suddenly you've got 40 hours. So that's the situation I'm in. But so even if you guys do tell me like, oh, I hate this camera, you probably will see it eventually when I get around to using that stock footage. So yeah, just whatever. This was a big, long, rambly video, but it wasn't an hour, which is fine. I seem to have gotten a little more controlled in my ramblings, or at least I just talk faster. Enjoy the dogs. All right, so I suppose he's saying goodbye for us. Yeah.